tomorrow's News of the World, you say you lived 3,000 years ago. Is that true?
Yes, in ancient Egypt. I definitely think I've been reincarnated.
Returned to life after death?
Yes, that's right.
Don't miss Diane Keene's own amazing story of life after death in the News of the World tomorrow.
Tuesday. Thank you for watching, for tuning in. If it's live, this is a wonderful interview. It's pre-recorded, obviously, the interview, but is going out live now at 9 p.m. on the Tuesday with my dear friend Jess Robinson, who is so talented and so warm and engaging. And before we go to the interview, a little request that came in from Friday's show, which was another humdinger of a show. Kat McCauley has been there with the Beige family for a long time, and she requested, and who am I to deny a beautiful lady person a little bit of beige in their life, which is my version of this version.
Yes. Woo.
Take a little walk to the edge of town and walk past my house, where my club is open, presenting a show of freaks like a man-sized mouse, where strangeness lies in every dressing room. In the dusty gloom, you know you'll always want to come back. Past my house, past the deli, past my agents, past my mums. On a showbiz storm comes this wigged, handsome man, and touch you all with my beige jeweled hand. I'll sing your songs, tell your jokes, make you moist with appreciation. With salad shows, we cater every taste. There's so much deviation. I reach deeper into your soul like a shallow soup bowl, and there won't be a single thing that you can't do. I'm a god, I'm a legend, I'm a man, I'm a guru. Touching my name through the showbiz land, and I'm touching you all with this beige jeweled hand. Sorry? You don't have no money? Ow! Why don't you borrow some? You don't have a car? Well, I'll be buggered if I'll lend you one. You don't have no self-respect. You feel like an insect. Well, don't you worry about it, 'cause here I come through Chroma, on Stanton, on Waxham, and onto Dis. Tens of thousands shout as a mass of loopy fans shoving stacks of green paper in my beige jeweled hand. Oh! You see me in your nightmares. You see me in your dreams. On the pier I know I'm exactly what I seem. You see me in your head on the TV screen, but I'm warning you, buddy. Oh, don't turn it off! I'm a god, I'm a legend, I'm a man. You're one microscopic cog in my catastrophic plan. Yeah! By my beige jeweled hand. You're shouting this name, Lenny Beige! Lenny Beige! Thank you very much. Now enjoy Chatty Tuesday with Jess Robinson.
You are Jess Robinson. To
Yeah,
me,
hello.
you are Britain's premier female impressionist, certainly vocal
Thank
impressionist
you.
when it comes to the sing-songs.
Thank
There is
you.
no one to rival you. And I knew that the first moment that I worked with you. Can you remember the moment that we first worked together?
Yes, I do. Adam Longworth had roped me into, no, he hadn't roped me into it. I was up for it. Asked me to do some backing vocals when he was being Joe Cocker Spaniel
Right, indeed.
at the Pigalle Club.
Yes, indeed.
And I did backing vocals for you. And then I shifted up to you and went, by the way, I can do impressions. And I would
You
really
showed me
like
your bush, didn't you? You showed me your bush.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
Your Kate Bush, which was simply extraordinary.
Heathcliff! Yes, you let me do Kate Bush.
That was the first one that you did, and it was just wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
In a nightie with my hair all frizzed up, I took it very seriously.
Absolutely. Well, it's when you have the measure of the sort of club that we were running or that I was running, and the weirdos therein and the strain, but not a lot of people just get it right off the bat. You completely did. You completely
I felt like I belonged.
the lunatics, and that's why, and it was, and this is what sets you apart from other impressionists, which can be a little bit run of the mill, a little bit we've heard it all before. Had you set out just to be a singer or an actress, and was impressions ever on the cards, really?
No, I wanted to be in musical theatre.
Right.
And I was doing a pantomime in Hereford, because that's where you should do a pantomime if you're starting out.
Which was what were you doing?
I was doing Sleeping Beauty.
Right.
Although the sound man said I looked like Sleeping Pig. He wasn't very nice.
And where is he now? Where is he?
Working behind the scenes on BGT, I think. But I found out that there was a production of Little Voice coming up, like the film with Jane Horrocks, where she imitates her dead dad's old records. And I just lied and said, I'm brilliant at impressions, can I audition, please? And they said, yes, it's next week. And I was like, oh, that's great. And then went home and had to learn how to do Marilyn Monroe I want to be loved by you. And somewhere over the rainbow and Goldfinger and all of those. And I managed to pull it off.
And
Yeah, I'd never thought about it before, apart from just taking the piss out of my mum, imitating her.
isn't that extraordinary? So under duress, you kind of found this talent that you had. I mean, obviously, I think if you know the way your voice works and you listen to a voice, if you have that ear, if you have that gift, coupled with the trained voice that you have,
And a bit of chutzpah.
and a lot of chutzpah, exactly.
Yeah.
Miles in this business.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's the whole reason that I ever met you or anything, really.
Yeah. So let's go back to young Jess growing up and learning to sing. So you were aware that the musical theatre was going to be the path that you chose.
Yeah.
It was something that I'm always interested when that dream, for a lot of people, it kind of loses its sheen quite quickly. But for those small percentages, they go, no, I'm going to stay with this. There is something here that I know that you're horse shit. You're far too ugly to succeed. But I know that I will. So I'm leaving them behind and I'm flying the nest. I've emerged as a swan. So there must have come a point where you go, no. I'm going to see this through to the end. I'm not giving up.
Well, again, yes, but also I didn't really intend it wholeheartedly.
Right.
I wanted to go to normal school, but then I got scared because I was bad at sports, and also I thought it would actually really be like Grange Hill. And my mum, I thought everybody told me I get my head flushed down the toilet and my trainers cut up, because that's what happens at big school. But my mum was playing for ballet lessons at this performing arts school,
Right.
which is known now as Tring Park, where we live nearby. And she also ran the second-hand shop because she's Jewish and she can do lots of jobs. And she played the organ in the village church, but this is not about her. And so I got an audition to go there. So I only went there because I didn't want to do sport and I was scared of the bigger kids.
That's how it works.
And then I started singing, and then I wanted to be a vet, but Mum told me I'd have to put my hand up cows' bottoms.
And that's not even on duty either. That's just something that you do.
Yeah. I wanted to be a nurse, but Mum told me I'd have to put hand up old men's bottoms.
Yeah.
She didn't want me to go into the business, but she pushed me into it.
Where there's no pushing hands up bottoms if you can help it. I mean, that's
No, you basically got to crawl up someone's bottom yourself to get a job.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
So how did you end up in pantomime then? What was I presume was it school and then it was a drama school, or was it school and then a kind
Just
of...
left at 18 and got the part of Snow White in a lovely theatre in Euston.
The Shaw Theatre, named after the great actor Martin Shaw.
Yeah.
And it's what year
that just started? 2001-ish.
Yeah.
It was a lot. I had a place to go to Bristol University and do a music degree, and I wanted to be a film composer. But then I got the part of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, and I couldn't go. Didn't go. That's it. Never had a proper job.
This is a proper job. People, I don't understand when people in show business say, I've never had a proper job. This is a proper job. This is when you've got to go day in, day out. And now you know this because we'll get on to talking about touring as well.
Oh, yeah.
So you were honing, so you get a job, in panto, you get a job, you know you can do impressions as well, you move into little voice, you realize that, I suppose that suddenly what you can do shifts, that you can do your own act, pulling in all of these talents, and then that must have been a very happy time, to realize, actually, you can do this on your own now, you don't need to have...
It was, yeah, when I made that decision, and realized I could be something special and unique, or I could be another 5'3" dark-haired actress going for the same roles as everybody else. And there are so many brilliant people out there, and I'm just, that's what helped me make my mark, I guess.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
You.
Well, listen, this is all, and I can't do anything else. But it was, I was talking to Dune McKeegan about this last week, and it was that thing of, there comes a point where you just go, well, I'm just going to do this myself. She was at university and just kind of fell into doing cabaret. But back then it was also a way of getting an equity card. That
Yes.
The old way of having to be a spare carrier,
Same.
you know, but the variety way was always seen as well, yeah, you can get it's a variety equity card, but it does the same job.
Oh, I didn't know they were different at that point. That's interesting.
Yeah. But I mean, ostensibly, you've got an equity number. It doesn't matter. And the important thing is you get a free pocket diary sent every year. And I did talk to the man running equity, enough with the tiny diaries. Enough with them. No one uses them. Everyone uses electronic diaries. You can leave the diaries alone.
Really, you can.
Ridiculous.
What a waste of money.
What was the first solo Jess Robinson performance as a cabaret artiste, would you say? I mean, in a kind of, not appearances like you were doing for me, Big Al, but in terms of, I suppose, an Edinburgh preview maybe, was there a significant moment that you went, this is it?
Yeah, it was. Actually, I think you came to it. It was Jess Robinson and friends at a bar in Soho, a gay bar.
Yes.
That was my very, very first time of doing any sort of stand-up or just talking to the audience or anything like that, and it felt like faking it. Do you remember that TV show?
I remember, yeah, but it certainly didn't smell like it. It didn't look like it. And I remember thinking, my God, yes. And that was that, because I said, out of all the friends that I've got, you kind of had arrived so early on as like, well, you're going to be a big TV star. It's like I could see.
I'm not, though, am I?
To be fair, you're not far off. You're really not far off. You know, when you just like, people like someone to have experience. They also like to create an overnight star. And people think that things like Britain's Got Talent create overnight stars. Of course, we know that it's a lot of people who've worked very hard for a long time before they're groomed to be on the show.
We know that now. Yeah, absolutely.
It's interesting because you did the show, and yet you were one of the few people that I know that, because we've had the conversation, you were asked a couple of times before to do it, before exam.
Yeah.
I always said, don't do it. But it only did good for you.
Well, yes, except I hated it.
Yeah.
I absolutely hated the experience. I wasn't really allowed to do what I wanted, and I still sort of torture myself about it, actually.
It's funny.
I still think, if I'd done that differently, or
Yeah, well, it's funny, looking back at the videos, and I was looking at some of the videos this morning. It's just so interesting. I mean, that shows you being a bloody great actress, because it doesn't look like you're hating it. And other people who've done it, it's a difficult experience, and it is, yeah. You know, to have your art kind of just reimagined by TV producers, and it's exactly what you don't want to happen as an artist.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very much like, well, no, you can't be funny and be a woman and do impressions and do singing. You've got to choose one. Right. So just do the singing impressions and just do them singing their own songs.
You're a woman and a talented one behind, and just, it's a strange thing, that show.
Yeah,
it's a very strange thing.
But I was naive, and I thought, I forgot they were making an entertainment show, their TV show, and they've got, their narrative.
A bullshit drama show as well, which, weave stories out of nothing or create stories when people are really only interested, I think, in the entertainment aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, they are shows that are, like them or not, they're part and parcel of entertainment now.
Definitely, yeah.
The sheer weight of them, the number of them, I find abhorrent. And I think what it's doing is it's taking away the right the performers like you and I have got to be on television doing our own thing, because so many hours are taken up by ostensibly free light entertainment. Yeah.
That's very true.
That was a statement, and I didn't expect. I mean, it's I'm interested. Okay, because people do it and think, well, I'm going to do it because it's going to improve bookings. It's going to put me on a pedestal and say, this is what I do. Did it work for you in that way?
Yes, it allowed me to go on my first tour, and that was brilliant. It was absolutely amazing. It was a hard learning curve. It was me just with backing tracks.
I came to see it.
I had
You came to see it.
dreamed of going with my band. Yes, you did. You came to Lincoln, didn't you?
I mean, it is I suppose then when you've worked with a band previously doing your Edinburgh show, suddenly you're out on the road by yourself. You're not in a play with other people.
Yeah.
You had a road manager with you, kind of road producer.
Road manager, therapist.
Yeah.
I mean, we had lots of cries together.
Yeah.
We just cried and ate grenade bars the whole time.
I don't know.
It was just a really crap protein bar, just to try and. It was really sad.
Okay, so I'm really interested from the point of view because I mean, sat in the audience.
Yeah.
In a provincial theatre, in a drill hall, with people that have obviously seen you on BGT and think, well, I don't know what they expect they're going to get for a whole evening's entertainment.
Yeah, right.
Just seen 5-10 minutes. But, you know, obviously they're not going to see what they've seen. They're going to see you, much more of you. Yeah. How was that tour? Because, you know, I mean, starting out is hard. It's really hard.
It was good. I met quite a lot of people afterwards, and some people would come up to me and go, just sing, just go and hire out a theatre in the West End and sing. And I thought, that's so lovely, but I can't do that. No one would come and I ain't got the money. And, you know, that, of course, I'd love to. So that was interesting. It's like when my grandma used to say, why don't you be on EastEnders? There's not a Jewish family in it. You know, okay.
I know, I've heard it as well. Isn't it funny, that kind of, why don't you just go and do that? But other people.
I wish I could just go and do that. It would be amazing. Yeah. But it was really lovely to meet people, and a lot of the people that came and saw the show have stuck with me now, and
in a good way.
In a brilliant way, not in a stalkery way, in a lovely way.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you've got to be careful.
Lucky.
You've got, you know, you're one of those, you spend the time with the fans after. You've got to be careful. A lot of very, very frightening mouth breathers out there who, the pickled onion Walker crisps in your face. There
was one that got a little bit much. And
I can only apologize. So that's your first, so that was your first tour. Then, you've done another few since then, or two since then?
I've done two since.
This is my final song. Thank you and good night. Every day is so wonderful, then suddenly it's hard to breathe. Ooh. Now and then I get insecure from all the pain. Oh, I'm so ashamed. You are beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring you down. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. You are beautiful in every single way. Words can't bring you down. Oh, no. So don't you bring me down today. Because you're undone, ain't that the way it is?
You are beautiful, no matter what they say.
You are beautiful in every single way. Words can't bring you down. don't you bring me down today. You with the sad eyes, don't be discouraged. Oh, I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. One could lose sight of it all, and the darkness still inside you can make you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful like a rainbow. Show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy. Can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you've taken all you can bear, you call me up because I'll always be there. Well, I see your true colors shining through. Don't forget to say you will. True colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. Your true colors. Your true colors are beautiful. I see your true colors shining through. Yes, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show. You are beautiful no matter what they say. You are beautiful in every single way. Like a rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow.
Then, and this year would have been my 7th Edinburgh Festival with my band.
Okay, so we all know, I mean, like everything else, cancelled. Edinburgh's hard work, you know, especially.
Such hard work.
And listen, you're not a stand-up. You're not just telling jokes for every night for 50 minutes or an hour. You're singing, high-octane singing, so
Yeah.
this needs to be looked after.
Yes.
So probably quite nice to rest it for a few months.
Yeah, yes, I'm glad to have an Edinburgh off, and I'm glad it wasn't my decision to do it.
Yeah, sure.
Do you know what I mean? In many ways, and just it will give me space to think about a new show, because it's hard to sort of reinvent,
Absolutely.
you know, a new way of presenting impressions each year, and I always have a toss up between how much of myself do I put in, how many impressions, how many original songs, and I think I'm getting the balance right now. But
so you're writing more now as you, and a kind of to kind of weave a show that combines both a lot more.
Yeah, I think a lot of the people that come and see me are always very interested by and touched by the stories I tell about my family, about, you know, all sorts of things. I did when I got divorced, I did a show about that.
Oh yeah.
I really saw that one as well.
I think people like a vulnerability, and they do like you. You are a very honest performer. There's no arrogance about you. There's not a kind of
only behind closed doors.
And I know that's not true. It's like but I think that it's a very hard thing to hide if you're a bit of a tit. I think sometimes you can get a whiff of that. Some people are brilliant at at masking it, Gaffney.
Yeah.
But there are people who, I don't mean that, but there are people who you just sit back and you kind of, you luxuriate in their personality.
Oh.
And I think that's an important thing for you to do, that apart from just the impressions, because of course we know that it's a limited, here's someone singing a song in the style of, and that is the impressionist shtick. I said this with Lewis MacLeod. So how are you looking forward then? And if you were to be given your own TV show, not to do the same, you know, but showing these incredible talents.
I think my dream TV show would be actually really similar to the podcast I'm making at the moment, which would be me getting on a guest, talking to them about themselves, you know, a celebrity guest, teaching them how to do an impression, doing a duet together, doing some sketches, mucking about with the band.
Love it.
Doing some mashups of different songs and different singers, so you can, you know, hear Bjork singing "I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts" or whatever. Not like a Jewish granny.
I know. I kind of. Oh well, it's usually hear someone singing the song in the style of, but then when you hear that, it has to come back to the point where that is funny, and
it is funny. Yeah, right.
It's funny. So you know.
I just like mucking about with my band and having a brilliant time, and I like the camaraderie with them, and they're called Jessington World of Adventures, and they are glorious, sweet guys.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean,
it's a sort of variety show, I guess, in some ways.
Great, because usually it is heavy dependent on makeup department, and I've seen. It's like the Mike Yarwood thing of, this is me. It's like, well, we know it's you. We're tuning in to see you do impressions. I don't think you need to throw a load of costume and wardrobe at it to be brilliant, as you show when you're doing your own one-person show.
I'm mainly, it's because I'm scared of props and wigs, because I get them tangled up and it's awful. In fact, I think in this conversation, we're going to show possibly one of your favorite impressions, Natalie Cassidy.
Love it.
That's the most props and wigs I've ever used, and I hated it, but it was so much fun. I'd do anything for her.
This is one of there's two people that I know that do Natalie Cassidy, and you both do it brilliantly, and weirdly you both do it differently. It's really odd. And I love them both, because there's something.
Who's the other person?
Morgana.
Oh, Morgana, yeah, she's
you know
brilliant.
what I mean? But you both do really great impressions of the same person, but they're very distinct impressions. It's quite curious.
It's like Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon on The Trip, when they discuss
Michael Caine or whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love you, Natalie Cassidy. Are you as fond of doing it as we are of watching it?
I mean, I love it. She often, when I do her, I'll be able to say anything I want, probably as Jess, but I can get away with it if I say it like this. So I can tell you I haven't had a proper poo in weeks, but I wouldn't tell you that as Jess. But it is about her. You know what I mean?
Did something like that, let's talk about the process of getting into that. Did something like a Natalie Cassidy impression just land, fully formed? It strikes me that I think I can do this. Bang.
I think so. I had an audition for Dead Ringers when it was on the TV, and I did a lie again. So I'd been doing singing impressions for a while, and then the producer said, "Well, can you do speaking impressions? Because we don't really have much call for Judy Garland on Dead Ringers." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm brilliant at speaking impressions." She said, "Okay, we'll come in next week," and blah blah blah. And I was sat at home with my mum going, "What am I going to do?" So I had to learn Fizz off Coronation Street, and I learned some Desperate Housewives, and Natalie Cassidy was one of the ones I learned. She's got a bit more exaggerated over the years.
Exactly. And what about Cheryl as well? Because I think, again, you got a singing impression who then that the singing probably came first, and then the
what with Cheryl?
Yeah, or was it the other way around?
I've never done her singing because it's so nondescript. I wouldn't know what she sounded like.
I mean, That's
That's awful.
yeah. No, not really.
Um,
Impressions that are always floating around that you're trying to reach out and grab that just simply still elude you for
I
whatever.
can't do. Do you know Scarlett Moffat
Yeah.
from
I do.
Gogglebox?
Yeah.
I,
I do.
I can't get her right. She's got a funny little voice up there, but I can't get her yet, and I really want to get her right. Also, I can't do Men or Alison Moyet.
That's
'Cause they're
fine.
too low.
Yeah.
Um,
Have you found that as a
Nina
trained singer,
Simone.
or have you found as a trained singer with what you can do with the instrument? Have you found that is a tremendous advantage for doing impressions that might feel slightly out of your range? That you can use the instrument to bend it, to kind of stretch the chords or whatever in order to get that impression.
Yeah, I do think I will approach speaking impressions from a singing point of view. So I'll really think about what note they're on. Like Hillary Clinton is very low down here, and I don't know, Cheryl is sort of in the mid, isn't she?
Yeah.
And you think about the tune of their voice, like Alex Jones, very bright, and very bright, and I love her voice. That came very quickly, actually, randomly.
Right.
I didn't know why.
When I suppose, although if you strip Alex Jones of the Welsh accent, I think you'd be with an impression that you wouldn't want to do. Do you know what I mean?
It would be there, wouldn't it? It would be basically
just a bit bland, slightly.
just a bit bland.
Yeah.
Yes, and nasal.
Yeah.
But then it's Alex, and it's lovely.
Is there an accent that you just go, oh, I just can't, I still can't do it?
I shy away from Irish, actually.
Okay.
Just because, do you know what? If I just bloody sat down, or Brummy, if I just sat down and properly tried, I probably could.
Look, you've got a table behind you with some lamps and a garnet.
I've got a pencil.
And a pencil. Jab that in your neck if you get it wrong. Just keep Let's talk about the new podcast then. So it is taking, I suppose you're treating it as a template for what you would like to do bigger and bigger. But you're doing
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
I've wanted to do a podcast for so long. And it's only now in lockdown that the band are free, that we can sort of give it the headspace. And I don't really know what I've been waiting for all this time.
Well,
I don't know why I haven't done it before.
You have been busy, so it's you know, and also you build up profile, then you come along with the podcast, and then suddenly people are listening to the podcast.
Yeah,
you know. So you will do it with the band, and
so I do it with the band. It's called Stars in Your Ears.
Right.
It's set where we all live together in Jessington Towers.
Okay, so you've got the sitcom element as well going on.
Yeah, absolutely. They're all social distancing in different rooms at the moment. So our pianist is in the West Wing, the bassist is in the attic, and the drums are in the dungeon.
Okay, brilliant.
And we do a different opening number every week.
Yeah.
We're doing different mashups. The people that come on, so we've had Rachel Parris, we've got Deborah Francis White from The Guilty Feminist, Ellie Taylor, Robin Morgan, Stephen Bailey, lots of people. Fingers crossed for Gareth Malone. Can you imagine?
Great.
And we are getting them to choose on the spot mashups. So we've done Lady Gaga singing Living on a Prayer,
right?
All sorts of stuff. And at the end of the show, the guest and I do a fantasy duet. They get to sing with the person they've always wanted to sing with,
right?
So long as I can do them.
And are they singing as themselves, or are they?
No,
they're learning the impression, and at the end of the show is them duetting as that person.
Yes, exactly.
Nowhere to
hide. So they do. Robin Morgan did Sean Paul, just basically sang "Briddy Bang Bang" over over me singing Catherine Jenkins as we performed "Hey Ya" by Outkast.
God,
I mean, you'd just never hear that normally, would you?
You would not really. Yeah, exactly. What a joy for you then, each one just with, you know.
It's so much fun. And we've also got the listeners to send in their impressions.
Right.
And we play them in a little impressions gallery with the Tony Hart music underneath.
Great. Love that.
There are some brilliant ones, and there are some people that I would have to cross the road if I saw them. Let's just say. There are some. And it's so joyful and it's so fun. It's just an hour of just stupidness, really. It's lovely.
So that's the podcast, the Edinburgh show, which you would have done, which I presume you will do next year.
Next year will be Jess to Impress.
Jess to Impress. Right.
I come up with the name first.
Yeah.
And
You're not alone there. Really, you're not alone. And another tour. I presume it's impossible to know when people will be touring again. But
yeah, I don't know. Some people are saying January, February now.
Yeah, I know. I don't think. I think a fool would book anything in for the autumn now. Really.
I reckon I'll be touring next autumn.
Yeah,
probably.
I think realistically, I mean, it's a frightening thought. So, but of course, for someone multi-talented as you, you're doing a lot of voiceovers. You do a lot of animation voiceovers as well.
I do.
You are. It. You know.
I'm the go-to fat boy.
Is that right? The role.
Yes, it's this voice. And if it's American, it's that voice, but it's the go-to fat boy.
Don't know. Are you allowed to say fat? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
You're fat, you're thin, you're somewhere in between. Who knows? I think
you made it rhyme.
Exactly. So fat, you fell in love and broke it. And they had carbs that only a cow could love. Yeah. So those are the. What about other dreams? What about other things that you got married last year or this year? Earlier.
Yes.
This year? Last year.
Last October.
Okay, last October. That's ticked off.
That's ticked off. Moved to Brighton. Tick.
Okay, like that, Brighton. Loving it.
Absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
Everybody says it's just like London by the sea. It's not. It's much friendlier.
It is much.
It's fantastic.
It is. I know. If you you've got buildings made of hemp. You've got all kinds of strange.
I've been in the sea. I went in the sea the other day. It was bastard cold, but it's great fun.
I don't do the sea. I used to live in St. Lenny's near Hastings. Never went in the sea. Not once. Never happened. I'm frightened of the sea. It's too much unknown under that. If I can't see the bottom, I don't get it. I like Brighton. I played there not long ago. Played there at Christmas, and
you did, yeah.
There's something beguiling about it still. It's very crowded in the summer, but you can't escape the fact that it's got something else no other seaside town has.
Does it? Is that what do you think?
I think so, yeah. It's because it's never suffered in terms of economy. It's always seemed to have thrived.
Yeah.
And it's still got the shabbiness, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And it's a very progressive, forward-thinking place, which is important in these strange...
Oh, that's what I love about it, actually. I could go outside dressed as a clown with a penis on my head and goggles on and...
We've all done it.
You know, we've all done it.
Yeah.
Flippers. No one would even look at me twice.
No,
They'd just be, oh, yeah, it's a person.
Yeah.
Like you could...
I was going to say, Hastings was very similar to that. And that was usually the mayor or something, you know what I mean? There's something about the seaside towns does kind of demand that sort of behavior as well, especially
Yeah.
It does bring out the strange, which I applaud always.
I need to visit Hastings. I haven't been there since I was a little girl. I know that's very dear to your heart.
It's only an hour down the road, so the next time I do a variety show in Hastings, that'd be great.
Oh, yes.
So what else? What else is the dream for you? What else is it? The realistic dream?
I have never been to America. Can you believe this?
Really?
Ever?
Wow.
Never. I've never been to America. I would like to go. I'd love to go to New York. I'd love to go and do the Adelaide Festival and in Australia. I know that's in Australia. We're talking about a different country.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, you have got in terms of the people that you do, which if you wanted to truncate 6 shows to 1 show to make it America friendly, I mean, you wouldn't go out there and do an hour of Natalie Cassidy, of course.
I would, if you gave me the chance.
You imagine people just coming. I don't know if she's any good.
I don't understand. Is
don't know.
she okay? So nice they let these people have a go too.
She's slightly retarded. I mean, I can't even. So America, oh my God, they lap it up. Surely,
I'd love to do that.
I've never performed in America either.
You haven't?
No, I've been out many times and I've spent time there, but I've never.
Wouldn't they love Lenny there?
Of course, they love Lenny there. It's just I just take that as a given.
Well, come on, everyone, let's go over.
Go exactly. What a fantastic show. So yes,
I want to travel more.
You want to travel more? Okay.
I'd like to be on the radio. I'd like to be a radio DJ this week.
Okay.
I'd like to do that.
We're on a kind of Radio 2. I tell you, you'd be great. Radio 2,
Radio 2.
5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, the Lisa.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. You do have
I would love that.
You have an infectious enthusiasm.
I do, for life.
Very important.
Mm.
Because there's a lot of people that you listen to on the radio that you can hear that they've been doing it too long. They're way past their sell-by date, and it shouldn't happen. But I think it's a remarkable medium when it's done well, and I think they quite like it.
I think Radio 2 would probably be, or Magic, or Heart. You know, something that's not too edgy.
Yeah, not hard. Don't do things with them which it just feels like you're doing links. I think there's something about your own show on Radio 2 that's why I like those shows. They feel owned by the people presenting, whereas sometimes on Heart it can feel like you're going in and reading links and that's it.
Interesting.
Careers talk now, Jesse, and I'm glad that we've had time to have this chat. If there's one regret career-wise or decision that you didn't make that you feel you should have, can you confess that?
Oh. One regret career-wise.
Or that you should have said yes to something maybe that you were offered that you weren't because you didn't think it was going to be good, and then you go, oh my God, look what happened to that person, the role that I turned down.
My regret is not sticking to my guns during BGT and saying, actually, I want to do this. Actually, no, I'm not doing that. But then I replay it in my head so much. I don't know if anything would have been any different.
Exactly.
There's no way of knowing, isn't there? It's stupid. I still torture myself about it, but I do.
It's funny.
I still think,
you haven't been busy but the fact that you're still, frankly, wasting your time thinking about it.
I know, right?
Like nothing can be changed. You got to the finals. It's like that thing of, you're right. If you'd have changed it and gone, I'm going to put my foot down, do it this way, who knows? You might have gone out earlier, and then you kind of have to placate them to know to play their game.
Absolutely, yeah. So that and any other regrets, I'm sure that I've got some better ones than that.
Do you find generally the people that you're working with, and again, I've asked this to Doon. People are generally lovely in this business, but there are always going to be some pricks and
real dicks. Yeah,
massive.
I've met a few really nasty people. Actually, in the last 5 years.
Who would you? Who have they usually been? Have they been of a sort?
Sadly, they've usually been other females.
Okay.
Which other females doing
similar things.
Either similar things or things that are sort of, the Venn diagram just crosses over a little bit or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's only been like maybe a couple or something, but it's really affected me. And actually, since doing The Guilty Feminist, I feel much better about all of that, because that's a set of women from all walks of life, all doing comedy, all, telling jokes and sometimes on the same things and whatever, that are so supportive and so big each other up. And I think it's a real shame when girls don't just help each other.
I agree. Of course. I know it's bizarre to watch. And often the most vocal about, but I'm fighting for this, I'm fighting for that. And then when you get them in the ring with someone that you expect support, they do the exact polar opposite.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
very
I
strong.
feel like I've helped. Yeah, I feel like I've been helpful to quite a lot of other people, and I haven't got it back, and that's fine because you shouldn't do it for
You
a
shouldn't
return,
expect
should you?
it. No, absolutely not, because that.
But it has surprised me in the past that people haven't been loyal, I reckon.
Well, listen, you just take that on board, carry on through, and don't expect anything back. But it's nice when you get it back, and that can only be a bully bonus.
Yeah, I know the people I can rely on, like you.
Yeah, damn right.
Got a lovely set of friends. We're lucky, aren't we?
We are very lucky, and also blessed by the just the ridiculousness, the talent on offer as well. I mean, they are a pretty extraordinary bunch of people, and
Yes, I'm thinking of Gunther.
not, but no, but there's so many great acts that have kind of come through the Beige stage, be it you or Lewis,
Yes,
Cloud, or people like David Arnold, or Matt and Dave, or I mean, a lot of people over the years. And I think that, apart from the fact people are very talented, there is a common theme of just being slightly left field, of not playing straight down the middle as you would expect. And I think that's why I enjoy your act so much, because just when you think this is kind of mainstream ITV, you do something that is actually not in any way that, and I love that. Do you like to surprise audience?
Oh, thank you.
It's an important thing for you to kind of go,
yes,
cuddle, and then a little, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I always like to put something a bit tearjerkery in if I can. If I can make you cry, I'll be very pleased.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like to be off the wall. My sense of humour's not just. I think I'm a bit weird. I'm a bit of a misfit. That's why I loved playing with you guys at the. I wish I'd met you when you were doing the Regency rooms.
Well, listen, there's no regrets in this business, and you're great, because the one thing you do, of course, in your show is you do more talking to the audience, which is something I love doing, and it's something that you just get more comfortable and therefore better at, and people do love it when they know it's off the cuff. And I've always said this with a Q&A show: if you think it's kind of predetermined and pre-worked out, then just ask a question, and people love that when you play.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love getting to know the audience. I like making them all my friends. I'm just desperate to be liked.
You are, by an awful lot of people, and it's only going to get more and more. Jess, is there anything else that you want to hawk, or the podcast? You've recorded them. Are they going out now?
They will be available from the 2nd of June. The 2nd of June. There might be a trailer out now. I'm hoping there will be.
Who's the first one?
Now. The first one's Rachel Paris.
Right, amazing.
And she's going to teach her how to do Shakira, and she sings Julie Andrews, and while I sing. Now, who am I being? Oh, Brittany and Julie Andrews sing "I Touch Myself" at the end. So, I mean, what's not to like?
So that'll be available to download this week.
All of the platforms.
Amazing.
Yes. Yeah. All of the platforms.
You want? I mean, obviously, go to subscribe to your YouTube channel. A lot of videos and some beauties. Your Instagram, may I say, is great because, of course, you do your Natalie Cassidy.
Every now and then we drop one in, don't we?
It's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can find all about me. Oh, if you go to Patreon, I always call it Patron, but that's not right. That's the tequila. If you go to patreon.com/Jess Robinson, you can get in touch, find out all about me, and get some lovely treats as well. Exciting.
I love that. Patreon.
Yeah. Patreon. Would you like to be my patron? Patreon.com/Jess Robinson. Also, if you want to have a laugh, Google Jess Robinson Playboy, and you'll see the other Jess Robinson, who is a porn star. Hooray!
You go out in America as Jess Robinson. We're talking a very different demographic coming to see.
Oh my gosh. I've spoken to her. I tracked her down. We Skyped. She's brilliant.
Really? Yeah. Amazing. That's fantastic. And was she nice? Was she?
She was lovely. I made a show about her last year. It was called the Jess Robinson Experience. And then I found loads of other Jess Robinsons, and we sang "I Am the One and Only."
Amazing. Amazing.
Great.
It's always a joy to speak to you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Listen, thank you. And onwards, let this strangeness end soon. But I'm glad that you're one of the people that has been keeping creative during lockdown.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need it.
We do.
That was my calling as well. Jess, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We will speak to you again, and we will be on the stage soon together, I hope.
Hooray!
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, another little song. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of the family. And remember, Friday is our last Friday live show, as it has been. It's our 20th show. It's half Bond. It's half Diamond. It's a Bond Diamond just bonanza. So please gather whoever you need to gather. Let's make it a big one. And then we will regroup in a different way, in a different fashion. Let's do a little dedication to Isabella, who is helping this week on the live show, certainly. And this is one of her favorite tunes, and an early Bowie. Oh, here we go. We passed upon the stair. We spoke of was and when, although I wasn't there. He said I was a friend, which came as some surprise. I spoke into his eyes. I thought you died alone a long, long time ago. Oh no, not me. You never lost control. Your face to face with the man who sold the world. Ha ha. I laughed and shook his hand, and I made my way back home. I searched on farm and land. For years and years I roamed, so I gazed a gazely stare at all the millions there. I must have died alone a long, long time ago. Who knows? Not me. We never lost the control. Your face to face with the man who sold the world. I'd hate to kick the new camera. Here we go! Oh, I never lost control. Your face to face with the man who sold the world. And he got a quite a good price for it as well. Let me tell you, he knew what he was doing, this guy, when he sold the world. It's all about the packaging and the sound. Believe you me, it's a hard sell. There's a lot of shit within one globe. But there's a lot of beauty. Who knows? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! 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 Oh yeah! 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 Oh! Oh! Goes on a little bit. There's not enough lyric at the end. Oh! very much, ladies and gentlemen. That is the man who sold the world. And if I talk enough, it will mask the fact that it's still going on. Thank you, the man who sold the world. Yeah.